Assalamualaikum
Yes,
warahmatullahi
Rico.
wabarakatuh, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Islamic Calling Podcast. Today, we are back. I know it's been a while. I know I haven't been on live since like in a very long time. Since like last time I made like videos on like David Wood, I think. But I'm joined by brother MENJ. Assalamualaikum, bro. How are you?
Walaikum salam warahmatullah. I've been busy as well. I've been here and there and everywhere. Okay, so I think I think those who are familiar with my channel would know that I have not been uploading any videos for the past several weeks now. I've only done a few live streams, but not much. Okay, because of my schedule, which is very tight at the moment.
I saw a few of your like live streams, but like I saw that
Yeah,
you aren't uploading as much.
yeah. In fact, I'm not uploading anything at all. Yeah.
Yeah. So So, by the way, today we are actually going to take a look at a very funny video. Brother Brainiac says, Assalamu alaikum.
Oh,
Walaikum salam, bro.
Walaikum
Welcome to
salam
the stream.
warahmatullah.
How are you, inshallah? Uh, and yeah, so I think you have some like channel members that oftentimes comes around, right?
Sorry.
On your stream.
Yeah.
Like you have channel members that oftentimes
Yeah,
comes to your stream.
yeah, they do. Yeah, sometimes they do hop on the stream. They say hello. They say salams, and then I reply, and then I say a few words. Yeah.
Yeah. So, as I was saying, so basically today we're gonna react to a very funny video that I noticed. So basically, Apos and David Wood recently made a live stream where they tried to mock Islam, or that was their intention. Brother Waktul says, "Assalamu alaikum, gangsters." Walaikum salam, bro.
Walaikum salam warahmatullah. Do I look like a
So
gangster
yeah,
though?
dog gangsters.
Okay. Yeah.
Dog gangsters. So
Hmm.
anyway, um, so basically, he did a live stream with David Wood, Apos, and so basically they were reacting to this video that was done by Sam Harris. Did you see that video where Sam Harris
I saw
basically
part.
talks about Islam?
I saw parts of it. I saw because but unfortunately I couldn't watch the whole thing, but I did see parts of it. I did see the part where he was criticizing Christianity at the same time, and I think David was like they were, but
So
I
basically,
did
what
not finish
happened
watching it
is
because
that
I didn't really finish watching it though. Yeah.
these two geniuses, David and like Apos, they thought that they were gonna mock Islam by looking at Sam Harris's video. Now, of course, David is a Christian, and Sam is an atheist. He's a staunch atheist actually, and he
Yeah.
criticizes Christianity as much as Islam. And when they were reacting,
Yep.
he just constantly starts like blasting Christianity, and David just got triggered, man. Like, he was mad. It was just so funny. So let's take a look at that clip. But
Well,
before
at
we
least
do
he
that,
got
do you want to tell?
at least he got a
Yeah,
taste. You see, the thing is, at least he got a taste of his own medicine. At least I think I guess he now knows how Muslims feel whenever he mocks Islam. Okay. Yeah.
yeah. By the way, before you do that, do you want to take a look at that clip by Sam Harris where he talks about Islam, or like do you want
Go
to
ahead.
go right into that other one?
Let's
Okay.
watch the I think let's watch the reaction because he does play the clip, right? So it's both at the same time.
Yeah. Okay. Let's just do that.
Yeah, let's do that then.
Let me pull up the clip. By the way, brother Kashin says, I need to see this lol. Oh, it's funny. It's really funny actually because
Uh,
like
I'm going to
I
really
noticed
laugh at
that
it.
yeah. So I noticed this like a couple of days ago, I think.
Who is Sam Harris? There's a brother here who doesn't know who Sam Harris is, man.
Good.
Maybe it's
So
best that you
so
don't. Anyway, I actually envy you because you don't know who Sam Harris is, and it's actually a blessing in
yeah.
disguise.
So let me give some brief introduction. So basically, I made a video on Sam Harris. You should check it out. Yeah, on my channel, Islamic Calling. If you watch that video, yeah, I'll give some brief introduction. But in a nutshell, basically, Sam Harris is one of the leading figures in atheism or the new atheist movement. He's a philosopher slash neuroscientist, or that's what he claims anyway. He's a staunch Islamophobe. He's been criticizing Islam for like 20 years, just like Christopher Hitchens. And he's also
Yep.
criticized Christianity. And he likes to think that he's very smart. He's not actually very smart. I wrote an article on it.
Yeah, actually,
It's
he
with
became
my
famous
brother
because
MENJ. Yeah,
he wrote this book called The End of Faith. So this was the
yeah, yeah,
book that kind of rose his name, made
yeah,
himself
yeah.
famous in the process.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, actually, yeah, that's how he became famous. Basically, in case you guys don't know, he's actually Jewish. So I think that's where his anti-Islamic hatred comes from. He's Jewish, so after like 9/11 happened, he was a strong supporter of like Israel and what's happening there. So things fall in
Hmm.
place, and obviously, he becomes a strong Islamophobe. By the way, brother,
Mhm.
Bas says, "Salam, did Sam trigger, did Sam Harris trigger David Wood? How?
I
We'll
guess I guess
react
we'll
to it,
watch soon.
inshallah."
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So let me find the video. Here we go. Let me pull up the video.
Yep.
Okay, let me share the screen. So this is the video I'm talking about. You guys can see.
These two clowns.
So yeah, these two clowns. So they did a recently they did a reacting to Sam Harris. So yeah, this is the video that they reacted to.
Yep.
Let me speed it up.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's. By the way, let me know if you guys can hear. Brother Brainiac says, "Can say is not religious if you believe in the promised land." Sure.
There are atheistic Zionists who believe in the concept of the promised land as well, but they just take out the religious part of it. Yeah, because they
Hmm.
essentially they are xenophobes. Okay, so that's how they rationalize. Yeah, and
Yeah.
they connect it with their history in that sense. Yeah, they're not religious Zionists. They are atheistic Zionists. Yeah.
Brother Ahmed says, "This reminds me of the time Apos posted the picture of a cow and said something like he likes beefs and stuff during Eid al-Adha, which triggered all rounds of Hindus." Really?
I didn't know
I didn't
this.
notice that. Yeah, I didn't
I
know
didn't know this either.
that. Makes sense.
I've never
And
came across
you know
that.
what? You'll see some of this in this clip as well. So basically, when like David gets mad, he just stays quiet and smiles silently because he knows he can piss off his Christian audience. He doesn't say anything
Yeah,
because he's gonna lose half his subscribers if he
yeah.
starts
What a hypocrite this
criticizing
guy is.
Christianity.
I mean, I debated this idiot, and you can watch my debate with him and see how he was exposed. Okay,
Yeah,
yeah, I'm
yeah,
actually quite proud of that debate because I exposed a lot of his non
yeah,
of his ignorance. Yeah.
yeah. Okay, so let's start the reaction, inshallah. That was-
or imams or whatever converting on the street and they're like
Yeah.
doing the thing. Islam.
I
Even
think
there was even a tweet from Tristan Tate. He
it's
said,
too fast.
where he was
Perhaps you
complaining. He
should
said,
put 1.5.
Muslims.
Hmm?
I can't
Oh,
hear
okay.
anything. It's too fast. Yeah,
Sure, 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 sure.
yeah. 1.5 is enough, I think. Yeah,
Sent so many letters to my
yeah.
brother
This is better.
when we were in jail. The Christians didn't send me any letters at all.
Not one.
Sorry, I didn't get one letter from Christians, and that's very telling, isn't it?
Yep. All right, so let's go ahead and go through some of this. So now we have Chris Williamson, the reality star from Love Island.
Oh, by the way, this is something I didn't know. The guy who interviewed Sam is apparently on Love Island.
Oh,
So it's like a
I didn't
reality show.
know. I didn't know about I Love Island until this psychopath kept repeating it many times in the video. Then I googled it up, and yeah, as it turns out, it was some
Why did
sort
you
of reality
Google it?
show in the UK. Because I
Why
was
did you
curious to know
Google
why
it?
he kept referencing Love Island, Love Island. I thought it was some sort of joke or something that he
It's
was
a very
making.
haram
So
show, bro. It's a
I'm
haram
not
show.
watching it. No, I'm not watching it. Don't worry. We don't have that show here in Malaysia, so it's not an issue. The issue is just to know what the hell is he referencing, right? So
Yeah, yeah.
So anyway, it basically Love Island is this reality show in the UK, and apparently it was quite popular at the time. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's like a
Yeah.
dating show, you know.
I don't know about the
Let's
details.
continue.
I didn't even go into the details. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Let's continue, inshallah.
I lost all respect.
And Sam Harris. Sam Harris here. All right, here we go.
with these Islamic scholars or imams or whatever, converting them on the street, and they're like doing the thing.
Oh, so they're talking about the video.
By the way, this is a topic that they brought up. So basically, he's worried that so many people are converting to Islam. Chris Williamson, you know, Sam Harris is so upset. He's so upset. Oh no, why are Muslims converting to Islam?
Those where the Dawa guys, talk to some like 13-year-old kid who doesn't know anything, and they say, "Hey, convert to Islam," and then he recites the Shahada, and then they all cheer Allahu Akbar.
That's how it is, man.
And on the street,
Yeah.
have you?
I haven't seen those Vox Pop conversions, but I saw Andrew Tate's conversion.
You saw Andrew Tate's conversion? You were there? The heck? Why don't you talk some sense into him, Sam?
He's already triggered. I mean, he didn't even say anything against Christianity yet, and he's already triggered.
Well, I mean, Islam is just mimetically, it's perfect for a specific audience. You know, it's
Oh, here we go.
it's a explicitly macho religion, right?
What are you smiling at?
You know what I love about Sam Harris?
By the way, I love how he like says that it's a macho religion, as if like that's a criticism. Like, what does he mean by macho exactly? Macho or being
Maybe-
strong, is that a good thing?
Maybe that's what he means. He means that Islam is firm on certain aspects of religion, and
Yep.
he has a stance. It's macho.
Hmm.
It's strong. It's
Yeah, but
it's strong.
is
Okay.
that a
It's-
compliment rather than a criticism? Like, shouldn't you
I
be
guess
like
it's I guess
fundamental
I guess
in the things you
I guess
believe
we
in?
can take it as a compliment coming from considering that this is coming from Sam Harris. We should take it as a compliment, as a form of compliment. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I get it.
I know, like I can kind of guess all the stuff that is going through his head right now, and he's just
By the way, what is he drinking from? That looks like a commode. Or the, you know, in Bangladesh we have this
It
kind of
looks like
like,
a coffee. It looks,
those.
it looks like a coffee cup.
No, it actually
I don't
looks
know. It
like,
looks like a coffee cup.
in Bangladesh we have this kind of like big bowls. I don't know what you call them. When you
Okay.
put like oil in, or like sometimes you just take a bath in. That's what it looked like.
Oh my god. So he's drinking from bath water.
That's what I'm thinking. It looks like he's drinking from bath water. Yeah.
you can always feel this
Okay.
thing, like he's just trying to be like ironically put it in the mildest way possible. But what he actually means is like, he's just
He wants-
walking right now. Yeah.
Look at his eyebrow, man. Look at his eyebrow slightly. Right?
Like, he's so triggered. He's even mocking his eyebrow. But he's saying like, "Oh, look at his eyebrow." Like, he didn't even say anything yet.
I find that so funny when he speaks like that.
See, so that's what you're thinking about. It's interesting what's going on in people's minds. That's what's going on in your head. What's going on in my head when I say it's an explicitly macho religion. I was thinking cutting the clip of him and then show Andrew Tate and be playing Macho Man in a clip. Macho.
Assalamu alaikum, brother Akil. Thank you for joining us.
Badakil. Waalaikum salam warahmatullah.
Oh, Macho Man. Anyway,
Look at this clown. Man, why do
I like
people
that
take
song,
them
though.
seriously? Like,
I like that song though. Macho,
Yeah,
macho,
David should give this up,
macho,
you know.
man.
he should be like a singer or something. He should be a comedian. I think he'd be really good at it. Give up apologetics.
But who's
know,
going to watch a
go do
psychopath
Stand up.
do comedy?
Other psychopaths, man.
I
Other psychopaths like Christian Prince. I mean,
Okay,
most
maybe
of the
it can
audience of
happen.
Christian Prince are psychopaths anyway. So he's gonna have
Perhaps, yeah.
house
Yeah.
full. You know.
these are the thoughts that go through our heads, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go.
Say no pussy's religion, right? It's just a
Hey, it's a Christian live stream, jerk. Should have.
So yeah, let me respond to like Sam Harris quite a bit. So basically, he says that Islam is a very quote unquote no P religion. I mean, again, like, why is that a why is that a bad thing? Doesn't it? Shouldn't it be not be a pussy? Like, isn't that a good thing? Not being a soy boy, not being a pussy. Isn't that a good thing?
wasn't I in a debate saying that all Christians are pussies. I said that, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I said that, and
So
this
everything,
this guy here at the bottom corner here, he got triggered by it. He got triggered by that
yeah.
statement.
So
Okay.
basically,
Yeah.
everything Sam Harris is saying can be
Yeah.
seen as a compliment. Like, yeah, you shouldn't be a pussy. You shouldn't be
Exactly.
a soy boy.
Exactly.
You
Yes.
should
Exactly.
be fundamental
You
in the
should
things
have
that you
you
believe.
should have a you should have a position. You should have a stance. You see.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, in the Christian world today, they're not showing that at all. Like for example, the issue of the Alphabet Club. Okay, I don't want to get your channel banned. So that you know what the Alphabet Club has been going around doing.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
in the Christian world, and you know that for the past several generations or decades before, the Christians were strongly opposed to this. But today,
Yeah.
look at all the Christian churches. What are they doing today?
Yeah.
They're
I mean,
embracing these people with open
yeah.
arms.
I mean, to be fair, like, of course, there are some Christians that are opposed to this, which is
Yeah,
good.
very few.
But
Yeah.
a lot of Christians are not, especially Christians like David
Yeah.
Wood, liberal
Exactly.
Christians.
Exactly.
Like, I don't know,
Exactly.
like,
That's
what
my
his
point.
position is exactly. But
Yeah, he'll probably embrace them with open arms. Okay.
mhm. I
Yeah.
mean, he does cross dress, so
That's a good one.
yeah. Oh, brother Brainiac says a good point, which is that imagine any Islamic duat behaving like him. Exactly.
Oh my
Like
god,
if
that would be
Muslim
cringe.
duat
Man.
behave like him, they would have
That would be
a
cringe.
field day with him.
That
Like,
would
look at
be
how they treat
cringe.
Yasir Qadhi
Yeah.
or like all these other like
Yes.
Muslim speakers. If they do
Yes.
one thing wrong or say one thing wrong, they will jump and make like 100 videos on it. And then you have these
Exactly.
clowns behaving like
Exactly.
this,
Yeah.
and nothing from their side.
Yeah, because because they don't make the news. Only Muslims make the news.
Yeah. By the way, what is going on with Ridvan? Is he having like a heart attack? I didn't
I
realize.
try to avoid. I try to avoid calling him by his given name. I just call him by his surname Aidemir. I don't want to call him that because the name the Arabic Ridwan is actually a reference to the gate of heaven. So I don't think this guy is going to go to heaven anytime soon. So I don't want to call him this by his given name. I just prefer to I just refer him to as Aidemir or Apostate Prophet or AP or Apus. Or if I want to be more nastier, I'll just call him Apusi. Okay? Yeah. But I will never call him by his real name. I will never call him by his given name. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's continue.
I should have gone through here and bleeped out all this stuff. All right, ladies and gentlemen, language warning. We have an atheist speaking, and you all know how these atheists are. They can't clean up their potty mouths. So there's going to be some
Isn't your
language.
pal down there an atheist, man? Isn't that guy below you an atheist too?
By the way, did you notice like these apos have no shame whatsoever? Like he is directly
Yeah.
insulting him in his face, and he's like laughing it
Exactly.
up, like he's not like he's such a
Yeah,
simp.
I mean, this guy is really this guy is really off his rocker, so to speak. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean like, and by the way, he will continuously like mock atheist throughout this thing, and he's just gonna go on a rant. So let's check it out.
Going on. So no pansies religion.
And it's just it's a like with Christianity, you have to
More
pretend.
pussies?
Yeah, well, you have
Did you hear that? I just said 4 pansies, but he used a more graphic word. Is that what he said?
Oh yeah.
I hate to rewind it because then I'm replaying the word, but I want to hear exactly what that guy said.
just
fair.
it's a
So he said 4.
I think that he said that.
Yeah, I think so, to be fair, he's just trying to guess Sam Harris's next thought and saying. So you were saying Christianity is for them in that perspective, and yeah, he's not.
Yeah.
He's not personally calling that.
Because I mean Christians go bang this dude up.
Yeah. Couldn't make it to the end of the street.
You can't handle me. I was on Love Island. Look at my pretty face. I've never been hit in my life.
like
See what he
with Christianity, you have to
More
pretend.
pussies?
Yeah, well, you have to pretend to be happy to be losing for the longest time, and you're basically just waiting for Jesus to come back and rectify this grave injustice. Like the meek shall inherit the earth. You're just, there's no putting this place right. We're not going to win until we see, Jesus arrive on trailing clouds of glory. So it's all going to be fucked up for the longest time, and there's no.
Dropping F-bombs on my live stream. Welcome to atheism, ladies and gentlemen. You know, I was cracking up
He's got triggered. Look at this.
there. You were looking down at something, probably porn or something like that, because you're
Yeah.
an atheist like Sam Harris. But
That's what I do. Yeah.
I'm cracking up laughing because for like, I'm sorry, for like the past 20
Like,
years.
he lost it. He's so mad. He can't speak.
The new atheists were running around, and to their credit, Sam is one of the. There were a few of them who, but it was like, I don't know, it seemed like a minority position. The people who were like, no, Islam is in a different category with calling to violently subjugate the world. And Sam was one of the guys who said, yes, Islam is in a different category. He said to Ben Affleck that Islam is the motherlode of bad ideas.
Oh yeah, that
By
was.
the way, did you notice like he's criticizing Christianity and David immediately shifts the conversation to like bashing Islam? So basically, what
he
Sam
always does
said,
this.
he's like,
Yeah.
So basically, Sam Harris, what he's saying is that in Christianity, you have like this kind of like, very kind of like nonchalant kind of like we're gonna tolerate everything kind of religion, where
Yes.
basically you get slapped and you're okay with it. You know, that's kind of like you completely useless,
Yeah.
basically religion. And so basically, that's what like Sam Harris is getting at. And then he gets triggered, and then he immediately shifts the conversation to Islam. He said that, oh, like, but Islam is like
Yeah,
especially
David,
like
this is his,
especially destructive.
Yeah,
By the
this
way,
is his-
I want to send an open
this is
challenge
no-
to
normal
David Wood
modus,
and
yeah.
show me one thing that is in Christian that you think is bad that is in Islam that isn't worse in the Bible. Like that's an open challenge that goes up to like David. Show me one thing that's in Islam that's
Good
not
luck.
worse in
Good
Christianity.
luck, psychopath.
Yeah.
Yeah, let him answer this one.
We have some comments here. Brother Hamid says, DW do
Yeah.
good thou. So many people have accepted Islam after watching David. He speaks so much lies. When someone does the basic research on Islam, they understand David would have been lying. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Brother Carl says, D Wood is number one die on YouTube.
He's not much. Do you guys notice something? He's not much of a Christian apologist either. He has not so far said anything
Yeah,
positive about
like his whole
Christianity. I mean,
channel, his
what-
whole identity is about Islam,
Yeah.
Islam.
Yeah, Islam. Yeah, he never. One thing I noticed about him, he claims that he's exposing Islam, but at the same time, if let's say some individual watches his channel and then they become nauzubillah, but let's say they become convinced that Islam is false, then what would the next step be for this person? Would he become an atheist or would he embrace Christianity? Because there's nothing on his channel about Christianity, you see. So most likely those people who actually watch his channel, let's say someone got deceived by this psychopath, nauzubillah, but even at best he would become an atheist, because there's nothing on his channel about Christianity. There's nothing about the virtues of Christianity or any convincing argument on why someone should consider Christianity after seeing the so-called evils of Islam. Okay, there's nothing on his channel about this. So it's quite strange that he calls himself a Christian apologist, but he never mentions anything about Christianity. He only talks about Islam, nothing else.
I mean, he makes more content about Islam than most Muslim
Exactly. Even my channel, you see, I call myself the Muslim apologist, right? I do balance it out. I do criticize Christianity openly, but at the same time, I do mention things about Islam as well. I do mention the virtues of Islam, why Islam is better than Christianity on many aspects, what are the weaknesses of Christianity compared to Islam, and why Islam is superior to other religions. I do mention this, okay, in my channel. But this guy here, this guy in green, he does not even mention anything about Christianity, not even one sentence. You see, he only talks about Islam, nothing else.
Yeah, exactly. Brother Berniak says that by attacking Islam, they want to reduce the enemy of Christ, quote unquote, enemy of Christ.
But then they will increase. They will actually add on more to the enemies of Christ, because most of those individuals who watch this, and let's say if those were deceived by him, they are most likely going to be atheists. They are not going to be Christians. You see. So instead of reducing the enemies of Christ, he's actually creating more of them, and more of them are going to be atheists in the process by attacking Islam. See.
Yeah, I mean, like this is why, like most of his buddies are people like ex-Muslims or like Hindus.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a fun. Like
that's another thing I want to point out. Why is this a pussy? He claims to be an atheist. Why is he appearing alongside a Christian? Okay, like for example, have you ever seen Tom jump together with with a Christian, or Matt Dillahunty with a Christian host, or just name any atheist, any famous atheist on YouTube. Are they, or were they ever seen together regularly, by the way, with Christians in one on the same platform? I've never seen it. Honestly, I've never seen any. Okay, so why is this
I mean, like,
self-proclaimed atheist always with this Christian? Okay.
yeah, I mean, like most of this kind of like atheist apologists, if you want to call them, they're usually busy criticizing Christianity.
Yeah, exactly.
But instead, like this clown, like all he does, I mean, Apos even like defends Christianity.
Yeah,
They're not
exactly.
criticizing.
During my debate, you say during my debate with this guy, this Apusi, I did attack Christianity, and he got upset. You imagine this. This atheist guy got upset when I attacked Christianity, and then he started calling me names. Okay, because I called Christians pussies. Okay, the only reason why he got upset was because my argument was pretty much the same as Sam Harris's, by the way, because Sam Harris was saying that Christians have no stance, have no not macho, right? So I was saying something along similar lines. So this guy here in the dark navy shirt got upset at me, and he started defending Christianity and started calling me names. You can watch the debate uh, in full if you want to know how he got triggered by that. So I always wondered who's really the Christian and who's really the atheist. And for the longest time, I do believe that the guy down there is actually a Christian pretending to be an atheist, and the guy up there is actually an atheist pretending to be a Christian. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it makes sense considering David's habit with like hammering people, and and Apos' habit of like defending Christians or Christianity.
Yeah. Exactly.
You know. But let's continue, inshallah.
Cool.
That was a good line. The mother load of bad ideas. But apart from that, the general thrust of like the new atheism was we need to stop these guys because religion's going to destroy us all. It's going to destroy science. They're going to kill us. They're going to kill all the atheists. What the Christians are going to do is they're going to make Christian nationalism, and they're going to make.
But it's interesting, like, but this guy is gonna make me like defend atheists. Atheists don't say that. At least most atheist apologists don't say that. What they argue is that, okay, we have liberalism or secularism, Christianity and Islam opposes that, so we're gonna defend that and show like we can keep this secular morality that is different than this like theistic understanding of like morality. So like that's like their argument. They don't say like all theists are evil and like they're gonna kill us. Like no one makes that argument. Like this is a complete misrepresentation of like most atheists. But then again, like imagine me like defending atheists now, and that's just a bad straw man.
No, it's fair. It's fair. I mean, if it's something that atheists never claim, it's only fair that we correct that misconception. You see, because we have to be fair to them, even though they are ideologically they are our enemies, but we still need to be fair, right?
And by the way, look at Abus right now. Like he doesn't say anything here.
He's just ignoring his spells, rantings, right? He's just doing something else. Yeah.
He's reading Sam Harris's book. Let's continue, Sean.
Just Christian leaders are going to throw all the atheists in jail. They're going to kill us or something like that. We have to stop. We have to stop it right now before it's too late. And then Sam Harris.
No one says that, David. Maybe in your head.
Maybe you alone say this.
Hey.
Okay. Because we know that you're
converting to
pretending to
Islamic.
be a Christian.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like, to be fair, like there could be some atheists that could argue like that. Like, for example, if you're like Pol Pot or something, or like Mao Zedong, maybe they could say that. But like most atheists, as far as like I understand, or atheist apologists, most of them are humanist or secularist. So they argue basically based on liberalism or secularism. They don't really argue based on like, oh, we need to wipe out like all these theists because they're trying to kill us. Like,
exactly.
No one makes that argument.
Yeah, that's right.
It's good.
And he goes, well, that's a macho religion. And they're focused on conquering the world because that's built into it. But Christians, it's built into their system that they're going to lose.
Oh, by the way, I have to take a little bit of break. I'll be back. It's doing Adhan right now.
Okay.
You continue, inshallah.
All right, I'll switch
I'll
on
be
my
back in
camera in
like
the meantime.
2 minutes, inshallah.
Sure, I'll mute myself and I'll wait for you. All right.
All right, I'm back.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, so we're back, inshallah. So let's continue. Bismillah.
And it's not until Jesus returns that everything is set right. So it's ingrained in Christians that, hey, we don't have to win. We don't have to go out conquering because we don't win until Jesus comes. Whereas in Islam, no. I mean, yeah, there is the,
That's false, right? I mean, like, it's not like Christianity simply says that, you can do any kind of violence ever until Jesus comes, right?
I've never heard of this. Yeah, I've never heard Christians arguing like this, except maybe David.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like,
Yeah, and it's also not, and also that's another thing we need to point out is that we know we Muslims also believe that Jesus is coming, right? We also believe that Jesus will come in his second coming, and we also believe that before Jesus comes, there will be a great strife, and that the Dajjal will come down will come and form his army and attack Muslims and so on, and there will be a leader among the Muslims called the Mahdi who will gather the Muslims and fight against Dajjal. So
Yeah.
there's an eternal struggle. There's a battle between there, and then the Muslims will not win until Jesus comes and kills the Dajjal. So we also believe something similar as the Christians do, anyway. So
yeah, exactly. I mean, like, also, like, Jesus himself, like, said things like, especially in the Revelation, if you read Revelation, when he comes back, he's gonna break people like pottery.
yeah.
I'm gonna
By
let
the way,
you guys.
Revelations was not revealed by Jesus. It's not Jesus speaking. It's basically just a dream. It's a dream of
Yeah.
this person called John
Yeah,
of
but
Patmos.
it's something they accept, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
basically,
because they kind of believe that it was Jesus in the dream, so that is why they accept it. But if you look at the whole story, it's actually just a dream. It's a dream sequence by this guy called John of Patmos. We don't even know who's this John, by the way. It's just some guy who calls himself John, and he says that he dreamt this and he writes everything down.
Yeah.
But the thing is, we of course, we as Muslims, we also believe that we can't use dreams as as a basis for ruling, you see. So let's say, for example, if I fall asleep and I suddenly dream that pork is halal, and I wake up from my dream, does that change the ruling? It doesn't change the ruling, right? It's still pork is still going to be haram. Just because I dreamt that pork is halal doesn't make pork halal. Okay, so it's the same thing here.
yeah. But what I was saying is that in Revelation, if you read it like Revelation, it's clear that Jesus, when he comes back, he's gonna be very violent. Like, he's gonna force like people to like convert to
So
Christianity.
basically,
He's gonna destroy all the infidels, break anyone who like
Yes.
oppose him.
Those who oppose
Very
him, yeah. So
ruthless.
Yeah, so basically in Revelations, the apparent image of Jesus that he gives is that Jesus will come down as a warrior and he will basically destroy his enemies. Okay.
Yeah.
So no loving Jesus there. So Jesus is not going to embrace his enemies with open arms. He's going to kill them. Okay. It's
Yeah.
pretty much clear in Revelations. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And also, like, if you read like earlier passages, like it is, if you, especially if you read like Old Testament, clearly, like, and by the way, Jesus like accepts Old Testament. Clearly, you can see like violence spread throughout, like bashing babies with rocks, like they're like disgusting, like uh, description of like violence, and like, yeah, there are even genocides mentioned, massacres mentioned. uh, Jesus never criticized any of that.
Yeah.
So
Numbers
we assume
31.
he
Yeah.
accepts that. So so no, this is not true that, like, Christianity has nothing to do with violence until like Jesus comes back. Clearly,
Exactly.
Jesus acknowledged that there are violent passages, and he never said these are bad passages or anything like that. He accepted it.
Yep.
It's only liberal
Yep.
Christians that like reject this nowadays. So
Yeah.
so yeah. Anyway, so the point is that it's not true that that only when Jesus comes, Christians are gonna be like, all of a sudden gonna be violent, as if like, because if you look at, I mean, even if you look at historically, look at how Christians behaved.
Yeah.
Like, look at the history of colonialism. Look at the history of like
Just look at the
you know,
history of my region, Aki. You see, my region in where Malaysia is now and where Indonesia is now, there was this empire called Malacca. Okay, in the 13th and 14th centuries. Okay, and everything got destroyed when the Christians came. Okay, the first Christians who came to this region were the Portuguese. They came with their ships and they invaded Malacca and they destroyed the Sultanate. Okay, so where is this so-called loving Christians? Okay, they came here with arms and they destroyed the kingdom. They destroyed the Sultanate. And since then, of course, the region went plunged down into darkness until, of course, several centuries later we got our independence. But that's a different story for another day. Yeah, but basically, when the Christians came to this region, they converted especially the Philippines. By the way, in the Philippines, the north of Philippines, the Philippines that we know now, they were actually Muslims before the Spanish came. And when the Spanish conquered the Philippines, the northern islands of the Philippines that we know now, okay, they force converted the people there to Christianity. So that is why the Philippines today, the majority are Christians. Okay, they are the descendants of Muslims who were forcibly converted to Christianity. Okay, so yeah, so this is the dark history of Christianity, which not many people know about, especially only those people from this region. We know the history of colonialism in this region. So whenever a Christian comes online and say, "Oh, we are a religion of love," I'll just laugh at
also,
into their faces
yeah, also
because
another thing,
yeah.
let me share something.
Okay, go ahead.
Now, of course, this is like common knowledge, but maybe
Yeah.
it would be interesting to know this.
Yeah.
Share. So, you guys know about the Spanish Inquisition, right?
Oh, this is of course, yeah. Yeah.
So, if you read a little bit of it, we can see some of the things that Christians claim Christians didn't behave like that. For example, Moors, members of the Muslim population of Spain and Portugal, ruled
Yeah.
most of the Iberian Peninsula. Starting
Yep.
from 8th century, Christian states spent several centuries working to expel the Moors, which, by the
Yes.
way, basically means ethnic cleansing. So
Yes.
Spain mostly used to be Muslim, and they have
Yes.
been basically
Al-Andalus. Yeah.
ethnically cleansed. They were kicked out.
Yep.
To
Exactly.
expel the Moors from the Iberian Peninsula, a campaign called the Reconquista. The last
Yes.
Moorish kingdom in Spain was
Yes.
conquered in the late 15th
Ferdinand
century.
and Isabella, King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella. So these
Yeah,
two people were
exactly.
the people responsible for the Reconquista or Inquisition. Okay, Spanish Inquisition. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The last Moorish kingdom in Spain was conquered in the late 15th century. Many historians believe that the crusading spirit of the Reconquista was preserved in the subsequent Spanish emphasis on religious uniformity. Anti-Semitic sentiments grew towards Spain's substantial Jewish population.
Yeah.
During the reign of Henry III of Castle of Leon, Jews faced
Yeah.
increased persecution. pogroms in 1931 were especially brutal, and the Jewish community faced choice between baptism and death. Baptism and death. So, so you baptize, and act like David would. David Wood doesn't act like them, by the way. But so either you baptize or you die. Like that's the option that they gave them.
Yep.
So now clearly, of course, like most modern Christian will reject this. They will say that but like this is like false, like this is not true, or like this is a misrepresentation of Christianity. But of course,
it doesn't
like
matter.
if you
Will this happen? Yeah.
Yeah, it's a real thing that happened, and there is justification for this because like the Spanish Inquisition, they're not stupid. They're made up of scholars. Like these are Christian scholars that justify this. And some of these people are very smart Christians that justify this. And like
no, basically these Christians were traditionalists. These Christians were traditionalists, and they were very zealous for their religion. We can't compare these Christians during the Spanish Inquisition era to the Christians of today, because basically the Christians of today are pussies. Okay, just as Sam Harris said. Okay, I'm not saying this to insult them, but this is the reality. Okay, so if you compare, I think if we were to transport one of these Christians from the Spanish Inquisition era to the modern day, and if this person sees what,
and the first thing they'll do is play football with his head.
Exactly. If they see what the Christians of today are doing, they will be shocked. Okay, to see how the Christians of today behave. Okay, they will probably make takfir upon the Christians today. Okay, I won't be surprised if they do this. Okay, because you can see how Christians practice the religion today. Right?
That's another thing actually. Like groups like Spanish Inquisition didn't just like kill like non-Christians; they also persecuted other sects of Christians.
Yep,
like they also went after other minority Christian sects that they thought as heretics, and they would often like go after them.
Yeah.
So this oftentimes became very political. Like oftentimes political faction used Spanish Inquisition, and they used them. So
so
it goes into more details.
In essence, you can actually say that the Christians during the Spanish Inquisition were more traditionalists, more faithful to their religion than the Christians of today. Okay.
Exactly. For example, it continues to say many Jews were killed upon refusing to convert to Christianity. Those who adopted Christian beliefs, the converters, Spanish for converted, still faced suspicion and prejudice. Marinos, Jews who had apparently converted but continued to practice their faith in secret, were considered a major threat to Spanish society. So there are basically a lot of kind of racist, kind of bigotry or anti-Semitism in their society. They basically did not like Jews in particular, even if they converted to Christianity, which is interesting because when Muslims were ruling there, this was not an issue. It's only when Christians came to power, like they started like persecuting and like the Jews.
Exactly.
For example, this is where they mentioned it: the marriage of Ferdinand II and Isabel in the
this is the one,
United the Kingdom of Aragon.
Yeah, this was the beginning. This was the beginning of the Inquisition when they united their kingdoms together, Aragon and Castile.
Called the Catholic monarchs, Ferdinand and Isabella further united the Spanish kingdoms into an imperial force. In 1478, Pope Sixtus IV issued a papal bull or decree authorizing the Catholic monarchs to name inquisitors in order to enforce religious uniformity and expel Jews from Spain. Ferdinand, but of course that also led to Muslims being expelled as well. Ferdinand and Isabel sought to use the Inquisition to increase their absolute power over the centralized regime. The first Spanish Inquisition were so severe in their method that Sixtus attempted to intervene, but his efforts were in vain. Ferdinand and Isabel realized how useful the Inquisition was to the royal power. So basically, this is a picture of like what they used to do. They would often torture people, especially like people they considered non-Christians and like, basically people who they saw as heretics as well. They would burn them. They were like torture. They had like dedicated torture rooms for that. So the Inquisition was characterized by secret procedure. They use the use of torture during interrogation and complete lack of rights for the accused. The autos de fe, Portuguese acts of faith, were public ceremonies during which sentences against the condemned were read. These ceremonies were elaborated and popular spectacles with possessions, oaths, and obedience, the Inquisition, and ceremonies. The condemned were afterwards turned over to secular or non-religious authorities to actually carry out the punishment. Extreme punishments included execution or life imprisonment.
Mhm.
So yeah, basically these are the things that that was going on. So no, this is not true that Christians are somehow innocent before like
Definitely
Jesus
not.
comes.
Definitely not. Definitely, they were never innocent. Okay.
Yeah, brother Brainiac says Jesus going to chase out all the all the poor. Yeah, exactly.
I think he's referring to the hadith where the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said that Jesus will come and break the cross, kill the pigs, impose
Yeah, yeah,
jizya. Yeah, I think that's
yeah,
the hadith. Yeah, that's hadith. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Okay, let's continue.
Judgment and all that stuff. But you can also conquer the world, and you're commanded to. What are you reading?
It's very funny. It's very funny that Sam Harris is like kind of mincing his words here. But what I have here in my hand is his book, The End of Faith.
Oh wow, that's a
And,
real page turner.
As you pointed out, to be fair, he was even here when he talks about Christianity, he was mostly focusing on how Christians deal with truth and evidence and this and that. And then he focuses very much on the danger of Islam. And he has these underlying things here. Like, while I do not mean to single out the doctrine of Islam for special abuse, there is no question that at this point in history it represents a unique danger to all of us, Muslim and non-Muslim alike. So this is just a very mild one. He kept pointing out that it is unique to Islam that if you blaspheme the Quran or you
Like, how does that even make any sense? Like, Islam poses a threat to Muslims? Like, how does that make sense?
Yeah, it doesn't
That's
make
like
any
you
sense at
saying,
all, man.
education threats poses a threat to students. Like, what? Like, that makes no sense.
What? Doesn't make any sense at all. Doesn't.
Like, like imagine that's also like saying like having a healthy diet, it poses a threat to like people who needs diet. Like that doesn't make any sense. It's a very stupid line.
Doesn't. Yeah, kind of dumb, really.
utter words of offense or perceived offense, you are in danger. And this is not the same with other religions. So
Yeah, I wonder why some. I mean, I would take that as obvious, but like, it's like with Bill Maher. Like, I can listen to Bill Maher, and I can disagree with some things that he says on topics where clearly doesn't know what he's talking about, and I can disagree with him. But on the other hand, I mean, I don't know if you remember, but it was like 8 or 10 years ago when he's doing all these interviews, and every single show he would go on and say, all religions are the same, all religions have their radical. He would go, that's not true.
Yeah.
It's not true that all these religions are the same. They're not. You do not have massive numbers of people in other religions besides Islam who are saying everyone who leaves has to die. You don't have that. You don't have that. So this is in a different category. And
Yeah, that's because you guys don't believe in a religion anymore. That's the problem. So
See, the problem with the argument is that there is the apostasy law in the Bible. You see.
yeah,
So just because this is the very same issue that Apusi raised in his debate with me. He mentioned about the apostasy laws in Islam. So I mentioned that I responded by showing him that there are apostasy laws in the Bible, and then of course he used the
Yeah, so-
reasoning.
so-
Oh well, Christians don't follow this law anymore. And then my response is that, well, it's not our fault that Christians don't follow the law if they are too much of a pussy to follow those laws. Okay, and then that was when he started getting upset about the pussy thing.
Yeah, I mean,
so
like,
he started defending
I
Christianity.
mean, if you
in the
yeah, as I mentioned, like if you look at Spanish Inquisition, they definitely didn't believe that. If you look at Christians in the past, how they behave, they
Yeah.
definitely don't believe that. If you
Exactly.
read their books, they definitely don't. Seems like they support liberalism all that much. So
Exactly.
that's like me saying, like, imagine there's a police officer, right? And the police officer, his job is to protect people. Now, imagine instead of protecting people, he starts shooting people, right? Then would that be a good example of like saying that oh look, this police, they don't they don't protect people. That must be what's right, what's just. Therefore, other police should also protect people. But the reality is that yes, the police should protect people. They shouldn't shoot people. That's what they're supposed to do. If they're not doing that, then that's actually a bad thing. That's not a good thing.
Yes, exactly.
So they're being hypocrites,
Exactly.
and you cannot use hypocrisy as a form of argumentation
Exactly.
against people, other cops that are actually doing their job, right?
Exactly. Yep.
So that's the same thing here. Like, they're using Christians who have embraced hypocrisy and then using that against Muslims. Oh, but look, these Christians are being hypocrites. Why don't you guys be hypocrites as well? No, because we're not
Exactly.
hypocrites. Like,
Exactly.
hypocrisy is not a good
Exactly.
thing.
Yeah.
Even if you're not religious person, right? Even if you're not religious, even if you're an atheist or
Yeah.
a secular person, like, why would you, like, imagine you have two friends. One friend believes that eating meat is bad, and he doesn't eat meat, and you have another friend that
Yeah.
says eating meat is bad, and he eats meat. He's a hypocrite.
Yeah.
Who would you
Yeah.
rather be friends with? Of course, the person that is consistent, you're gonna be friends with that person because at least you can trust him. The
Yeah.
other person is a hypocrite, and you can trust him. Same thing here. Like, you can't like go around use hypocrisy as a form of argumentation against Muslims. That's a bad
Yeah.
argument. That's a bad premise. Like, that's the conclusion doesn't follow. They're doing something wrong. You can use that as an example. So just like stupid point, like, it's a very stupid argument. And I see like Islamophobes use this all the time. They'll say
Yeah.
things like, "Oh, but look at the Christians; they're not doing this. Only you Muslims are the ones doing this." No, I mean the Christians are also supposed to be doing this. As a matter of fact, many Christians do actually don't support things like LGBT. They don't support things like apostasy.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
But of
Yeah.
course,
But,
you
but,
don't.
but those
Christian-
who don't support the alphabet club these days, you don't find many of them anymore. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's basically a very bad argument to justify your position in saying that Islam is somehow special because of this. No, Islam is not special. It's just other people have become hypocrites, and that's not a good thing.
Exactly.
If anything, you should
Exactly.
respect Muslims for upholding their religious tradition, and you should criticize Christians for not upholding that.
That's why I always say that this guy, this psychopath, is actually an atheist pretending to be a Christian, because he rather see Muslims abandoning their religion, forsaking their belief in Allah Taala, and become atheists, rather than letting Muslims continue with their faith, their belief in God, continue with their way of life, and always respecting Jesus especially. But this fake Christian is willing to work together with this fake ex-Muslim here in order to bash Islam. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
And then another irony is that he's bashing atheists at the same time. He's lambasting Sam Harris for calling him out for being an atheist. But why is he working together with an atheist in this street?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like on what point do these people like actually agree on? Like, do they agree that Islam is evil? Like, then what is there in Islam that's not in Christianity? Like, I'm
Yes,
genuinely
exactly.
curious. I want to ask Apos this question if he's watching this.
Yeah.
Like, what is in Islam that's not in Christianity? Like, your argument is that but the Christians are hypocrites. Like, that's not a good thing. You should criticize them for it. You should say that, look, you shouldn't be hypocrites. If you think that these things are problematic, you should.
I know what Apus is going to answer. He's going to answer, "Oh, but you Muslims, you kill apostates, you kill those who leave Islam." He's going to answer that. Yeah, he's going to answer that way. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the thing. Like, yeah, but like again, like Christians should be doing that as well. Like,
Exactly.
that,
As I've demonstrated that. I've demonstrated that in the Bible. The Bible clearly says that an idolater, if you catch someone who apostatizes from the one true God of Israel by worshiping idols, you must catch this person and execute him. It clearly says this. Okay, I think it's in Deuteronomy. I've forgotten the verse, the passage,
Actually,
but it's
you
there.
know what?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I find interesting is that how Paul said that when I preach to like non-Gentiles, I become
Yeah.
like them. So basically,
Oh,
that
to
verse.
the Jew, I become as a Jew. To the Gentile, I become as a Gentile. Yeah, that is in.
It's interesting.
2 Corinthians.
I'm actually starting to think about that verse while I was saying this, which is that what the Spanish Inquisition did can kind of be justified by what Paul did. Like, if this is really this is really true, that Paul, because you need to understand, those are Gentiles. These are not Jews.
Yeah.
Most of the commandments in the Old Testament are for the Jews. So
Exactly.
if when it comes to Gentiles, they can do whatever they want when it comes to preaching, then why can't they force convert?
Yeah.
Like,
Exactly.
it makes sense. So technically, what the Spanish Inquisition did, like things like forced conversion, can be justified in some sense, right? So surely, like when these kind of like scholars that justified the Spanish Inquisition and their methods, clearly they somehow found a way to justify this. So that would make sense. And so, and again, like if that is the case, then like, why doesn't like people like Apos don't have a problem with that? And see, there's the thing, like they're so focused on like Islam, like they don't realize that like these people are friends with hypocrites, and they don't have any like kind of like concrete thing that they can criticize on. They whine about Islam because they don't like it, but the reality is that, well, you shouldn't like it. Actually, you know what? They hate themselves. These Christians, they actually hate themselves. They hate their own religion. They're insecure.
They cannot accept the fact that Muslims until today we follow our own laws. We are not like the Christians who have pretty much gone astray from their own laws.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
When I'm talking about Sam Harris, I'm thinking like he did that TED Talk. I did a response video to it years ago. When, to his credit, he posted a tweet saying, I invite people to correct any error I've ever made. And so I did an easy one because I'd only seen a couple of Sam Harris clips ever. I saw the Ben Affleck one. I saw his interview with, I think, either Stephen Colbert. Jesus will come on his Bugatti cloud of glory. This is why Tate got into Islam. Only he can have a Bugatti. Sorry. So here the theory is Tate's jealous.
That makes sense.
All right, let's go back to some of.
Oh, but that's another thing. Like they're so obsessed with like Andrew Tate and like Sneeko. They're constantly talking about them. Like he made like hundreds of videos on like Andrew Tate.
Yeah, speaking of which, did you see Apusi's latest live stream? He talked about Andrew Tate. And the BBC documentary. Later I'll show it to you after this live stream. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Our hero, Sam Harris, talking to the Love Island guy. I hope they're not on Love Island right now. Let's see.
Imperative that we really do anything real. Like there's no expectation that we are going to win before anything good happens. I mean, I guess there's one Christian sect where they do have an expectation of kind of winning, a thousand years of millennial glory until and then Jesus comes. But for most Christians, it's a story of failure, and then they get to say, look, we were right. Jesus, yeah. With Islam,
okay, so that's his view on.
What did you just say? I don't understand what that guy says. That's the Love Island guy. What did you just respond to?
He said, "Hey, I was on Love Island." Let me rewind it. See what
most Christians, it's a story of failure, and then they get to say, look, we were right.
Look at David's face. He's already getting so triggered. This is where it explodes, actually.
Jesus, With Islam,
Wait, what? Did you hear what he said?
Did he say eat? I don't know. I have no idea. I don't understand the guy. I don't know what he said.
I learned to speak English, man.
and then they get to say, look,
Now he's mocking, like saying that he can speak English.
we were right.
Yeah.
Jesus,
Each and every
yeah. With Islam,
Okay,
I think he said eat everyone.
that's what I thought he said too, but I didn't.
Doesn't make sense to me.
It doesn't really make sense. Does the guy have Tourette syndrome? He just blurts stuff out.
Can you leave the guy alone?
Why does Apusi laugh funny?
Yeah. So the idea
I don't know.
in Christianity, keep in mind, we're not saying what Christians have always done over the centuries, but yeah, the idea in Christianity is you preach the gospel, and it's not about losing, but it is in the sense of in the end you're going to be persecuted, and that's what's going to happen. And yes, things aren't actually set right until Jesus returns, but you have sort of you have the idea that it's going to expand and grow rapidly. So Jesus says, it's like the smallest of seeds, but then it grows into a tree. It's talking about the kingdom of God and the gospel and so on. So it's going to spread rapidly. It's going to spread to the entire world. Christians are going to make disciples of all nations. But at the end of the day, the world is going to come at you, and you're going to be on the receiving end of a lot of violence. And then Jesus returns. So yes, it's built into the system that we do not go out and conquer the world. Not going to happen. In fact, it's
So basically, like he's like trying to like get back at Sam, basically saying like, oh, basically Sam Harris is criticizing Christianity for like being kind of like submissive, being kind of like in this idea of like, oh, if someone slaps you, you should give like another cheek. Although like he didn't say it here yet, and like his response is like, oh, but yes, it does say that. And he has no response. like what's your response? Like, why did you pause the video then?
It's so not built into the system. I mean, so not built into the system that we conquer the world that if we were to conquer the world, that should make you start wondering, wait a minute.
First of all, like, what do you mean by conquering the world? Like Christians clearly did conquer the world. Like, look at history.
They did conquer the
What are you
world.
talking about?
They conquered and colonized my region, especially for 900 years. Okay.
Yeah.
So
I mean, look at
the Portuguese.
Indian
Yeah,
history.
the Portuguese
look at what
came.
the British did. Yeah.
Exactly. The Portuguese came first, and then followed by the Dutch, and then followed by the British. So were they not Christians? Unless if
Also,
David wants.
also not just that. Look at what they did to
Yeah.
like the Native Americans, like the native people. They
Yeah,
tried to
that,
force
that is
convert.
that is also another example. Yes, especially look at what the Spaniards did to the Aztecs. Yeah,
Yeah,
in Latin America. You see.
yeah.
Yeah.
So like they did they use violence. Like what are you talking about?
Exactly.
This doesn't sound like
Exactly.
what Jesus
They
said at all.
they did
Here we are,
try
like-
to conquer the world. Yeah.
Yeah, they did conquer the world. What do you mean?
They did conquer the world. Exactly. Exactly. So I don't know what David is talking about here.
In other words, if you converted the entire world to Christianity, you should view that as a problem.
Also, they justified it using the Bible.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
That should be a
That's the
regardless
thing.
problem. And then so he's going to go into Islam. Here we have Sid Dave says Tate's conversion to Islam is because he knows he has an audience in the Muslim world and he wants to move his operation to Dubai. It is all a scam. I think that is look like that. In fact,
attention,
So he's
and
gonna
he was
whine
planning
about
on
it.
immediately flying to
Let's
Dubai.
go to
he
the
wants
next
to get away with it
portion.
forever.
It was an Allah scam.
All right, so we have Sam Harris broke it down about Christianity. Christians just like getting pummeled and beaten down, total pansies, done
They love
nothing for all we've done for 2,000 years.
Look at his face. He's
Yeah,
so
he's
mad.
really dumb.
He said total pansy, but Sam didn't say any of this. But he's like he's calling us total pansies. No, you said that. He didn't say that.
The crap beat out of us while pretending we like it, but Islam is macho. So let me back up just so we don't
And they
miss
get to
intro.
say, "Look, we were right." Jesus,
Eat
came
shit,
back.
everyone.
Yeah. With
Oh,
Islam,
okay, it makes sense. We get to say we're right after Jesus returns. Then we can say, we were right. So he's saying
Yeah.
that's when we would say that. Wrong. Christians
that
aren't
would
going
make
to talk
sense.
like that, Chris Williamson. People may talk like that on Love Island.
Again, like
It's not.
Look
It's
at
not
this
even
clown,
fun.
like
It's
he-
not even funny, man. The joke. Their jokes are
Yeah,
not even funny.
I mean, like
I don't know what they're laughing at.
he's clearly triggered. Yeah, he's clearly triggered. Like
Yeah.
he's constantly trying to defend, like, oh, Christians are not like that, man. Have you seen yourself? Have you seen how you behave? Have you seen yourself dressed like a woman just to walk Islam? Like, dude, who are you talking about?
And I don't
you
get the
talking
Love Island reference either. I mean, what does Love Island has to do with Christians trying to conquer the world? And in history, Christians did
So basically,
conquer the
the
world.
guy who's interviewing him, he was on Live
Yeah.
Island, I think.
I know.
So
But
bringing
why?
it up.
What's the connection between what he's saying with the argument in the first
Well,
place?
he
There's no
got
connection
triggered.
at all.
He got
Except
triggered
for-
because
except for-
they're criticizing Christianity. I mean, not even criticizing Christianity
Exactly.
on that sense. Right? Just like saying some, like, poking it a little bit, and he got triggered.
No, it doesn't make any sense unless if
Uh,
there's an expectation
yeah, this
that they're
guy
going to
laughing
conquer the
so
world.
Look
Do
at
you realize
look at
something? Our pussy's laugh does sound fake, doesn't it? Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
the way he laughs
He's faking it,
sounds a
man.
bit fake,
He's
doesn't
so faking it. Like everything he says, he
Yeah.
just laughs.
it? Yeah, he laughs like he laughs like Shall I share the video? There's this channel which I really like.
Oh, which one?
Hang on, I'll show it to you. Hang on.
Brother Mouse says good vibes, good vibes.
Hang on, let me find it first. All right.
Sure.
Give me a moment. Yeah, it's a bit nasty, but it's supposed to be a parody. So
Oh, is it too bad? Can
no,
it be
it's not
shown
that
on screen?
bad. Yeah, no, we can show you on screen, but it's supposed to be a parody. Okay, let me show you on screen then. It's actually quite funny. I don't know whether you find it funny though. Okay. Never mind, just enjoy it while it lasts.
Oh, this one. Okay. Goodness.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. That's the whole point of the movie, of the film. of the parody.
Okay, stop it.
Yeah, I don't think I want to see him anymore laughing anymore. Oh my god. Okay, yeah. So that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like
Yeah.
clearly he's like fake laughing it, like he's not actually laughing, like everything. You'll notice this. Everything that David says, he's like,
Yeah,
like
he laughs like the
he
animal,
laughs,
that we see in the
yeah,
clip just now. Okay.
yeah, but clearly, like he's faking it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But anyway, let's continue.
Right, and there's
In
an
Islam.
imperative to conquer the world
Yeah.
for serious
I can give you the
Muslims. Like,
passages.
you don't have to be impatient necessarily. You can take as long as you want, but this is all we all know. This is moving in one direction, and you need to be a spiritual warrior. And if you take this really far, if you
Okay, so this is something like he mentions this thing about like, Islam teaches Muslims to like conquer the world. Like, what do you mean by conquer the world exactly? Like, I mean, like in Islam, there's nothing that says that you have to force people to be a Muslim. Islam
Exactly.
teaches about giving dawah. We don't have like this
Yes.
idea of forced conversion.
Yes.
So
Exactly.
I'm guessing like what he means is that like doing like forcefully take lands again. Like, there's nothing in Islam that says that you have to do that. Like, again, like
Yeah.
he's confusing like medieval centuries with like modern Muslims. Like,
Yeah.
clearly
Exactly.
nowadays we have like nation states. Back
Yeah,
then,
we have
that's
nations there. We have the
thing.
Geneva Conventions. We have United
Yeah,
Nations. We have
yeah.
all the protocols. So
We
we
have
can't do
treaties.
what.
We have
Yeah,
treaties
we
with
have
other nations
exactly.
that can like hinders
Exactly.
most Muslims
Yeah.
from taking other lands.
Not
Back then,
just
it didn't
Muslims, but
exist.
basically everyone else. Okay, basically everyone
Yeah,
else. But yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Of course, like back then, this didn't exist, and it could be the
of
case that
course.
with some countries maybe it doesn't exist even still,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like for
yeah.
example, Israel could be an exception. Of course, like with countries like that,
Or
that's an exception.
Russia. Yeah, Russia and Ukraine could be an exception too.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, sure.
yeah.
I mean, like, so, like, what does it mean exactly? Like, Islam like teaches to conquer. Like, there's nothing here. Like, like, there's nothing in Islam that says that you have to conquer a land.
Exactly, exactly.
Like, where does it say that? Like, you have to conquer this
Nowhere.
particular land. That's the goal. That doesn't
Yeah,
exist in Islam. Like, Islam is not like some kind of conquest ideology. Like, it's not the goal of Islam.
yeah.
Monotheism. It's tawhid.
If anything, Islam teaches that the Muslims should defend their land, not go out and make war on other people. If people attack
Yeah,
you,
there's a hadith.
then you have the
There's a
right to
hadith
defend.
prophet
Yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
where he
It's also
says
in the
that
Quran as well. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, mm,
there's a hadith by the prophet where he says
yeah,
that do not wish for war, but if
yeah.
it comes to you, then know that
Be prepared. Yeah,
heaven is beneath the shade
yeah.
of the sword, right? Of
Yes,
course,
yes.
whether
It's
it's sahih or not, there can be a dispute about that, but it's a good hadith.
yeah,
That's basically
yeah.
explains what the mindset of the Muslims are. Yes,
Yes,
when it comes
yes.
to violence, we don't wish for
Yeah,
violence, but
yeah.
if we have to fight, we're gonna fight, and I think that's
Yes.
the best, like kind of
Yeah.
like
Basically,
mindset you can ever have.
the point is like the Latin phrase, pessum parabellum, right? Para what's the Latin phrase? The one that you see in John Wick. That's what it means.
John
Yeah.
Wick.
In order, yeah, CV pessum parabellum. So if you want peace, prepare for war. So that's
Yeah.
pretty much what Islam teaches, right? That's pretty much what Islam teaches. I mean, if you want
Yeah.
peace, you better be prepared for any possibility or any outcome
Yeah.
that might happen to you, right? So there's nothing wrong with that. I don't see anything wrong with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm.
And again, like if you look at like Islamic history, the Prophet ﷺ only like went to war or offensive warfare when there was absolute need for it. Like he didn't like
Yes.
like going
Yeah.
out there and like conquering land. That was never his
Yeah.
goal. Like he tried to make
Yeah.
treaties whenever he could, and
Yes.
and he went to offensive strike when it was needed. Like when
Actually,
like
the only offensive.
the conquest of Mecca
Yeah.
itself refutes
Yeah.
his whole argument. I mean, when the
Yes.
conquest of Mecca
Yes.
happened, he didn't
Yeah.
kill anybody except
Yeah.
people who
Exactly.
retaliated. And
Yeah.
it was like mostly peaceful. Again, you need to understand, like Mecca was like their homeland, and like
Yeah.
there was almost no bloodshed.
Yes.
And
Exactly.
so, of course, like if we have a situation where there's no treaty or treaty has been broken between two countries, of course there can be a war. That's normal for any country, even in secularism, even in liberalism, that's
Yes.
going to happen. So
Yes.
Islam is not special here.
Yeah.
So if that's what it means, that like that argument doesn't make sense. It doesn't follow, because that's true
Yeah.
for any nation. Any nation
Yeah.
state, when you have a situation where you don't have a treaty, then
Okay.
another nation takes land of this other country, then yeah, that's allowed. Like that's not even under UN charter, that's allowed. You know, if you don't have a treaty, or these two countries have like this kind of like war or like violation of treaty, then yeah, like these are not special to Islam. But if you have a treaty, then of course we cannot violate that, and Muslim countries do have treaties. So like
Yeah.
this is clearly not true, that this idea that we can just go out there and take land and take as much land as possible. No, the goal is to spread Islam, and if it can be done non-violently, then of course that's good. But if you have a situation where like there's no way to spread Islam, and all the the enemies of Islam are trying to take Muslim land, or like they're a threat to the Muslim world, then there's no treaty there, then of course that's a different situation.
Yes.
So yeah, it's a very stupid point to say that, and this is something Sam Harris does all the time, where he was constantly say, "Oh, Islam is a conquest ideology." No, liberalism is a conquest ideology. I mean, look at all the kind of like American military bases. Like they have military bases everywhere in the world. China has military bases everywhere in the world.
Yeah.
So how many military bases do the Muslim countries have? Almost none. Almost none. So like, no, Muslims are not out here like trying to conquer. Like in the past, of course, like in the past things were different. But then again, you will fall into like this kind of presentism fallacy, where like you can match the past with the present.
Yes.
Of course, if there's a need for it, if the Muslim leader feels like there's a need to go to war, then he will go to war. But if there's a treaty, then no, Islam is not a conquest ideology. It's not like Kublai Khan or Genghis Khan or anything like that, where they believe that anything under the sun belongs to them. Islam is not like that. Like in Islam, we believe in making peace. We believe that there can be treaties between two nations, two people, and if there's a violation of that, then yeah, there can also be war. But that's not what justifies to be called a conquering the world, quote unquote. That's just normal geopolitical situation. There's nothing like conquering about it. But anyway, it's just something I wanted to respond to.
Become a jihadist, right? You're especially doctrinaire, militant, true believer. Well, then you're a kind of spiritual James Bond. I mean, then it's like you get to be
James Bond, like sleeps around and committing
Spiritual
adultery.
James Bond.
Since when was adultery at all allowed in Islam? Like, it's comparing like James Bond with like Muslims. Like, dude,
Yeah.
since when was like adultery allowed in Islam? Like,
We don't need James Bond. We have our own heroes. I mean, he could have mentioned Salah ad-Din. He could have mentioned Khalid ibn Walid. He could have mentioned Umar al-Khattab. Why does he's so ignorant? He doesn't know that we have our own heroes. We don't need James Bond as our guide. Okay. Yeah.
So basically, this is what he's doing: faulty comparison fallacy. He's compared two things that has nothing to do with each other. Like James Bond is like he's going around spying for like
James Bond pales in comparison with Khalid ibn Walid. Okay, if you look in the history, okay, Khalid ibn Walid, he leads an army of 10,000 men against the Persian army, which has about 200 to 300,000 men. Guess who won? Okay, so that's how great Khalid ibn Walid was. Do you really think James Bond can lead an army with just 10,000 men against an army of, let's say, 200 or 300,000 men? I don't think James Bond can do it. Right? James Bond is a spy. Okay, he's not an army general. Okay?
Yeah, so that's what I meant. Like, I mean, like he's comparing like with James Bond with like Muslim, but like James Bond is going around committing adultery in Islam. Or adultery is not allowed in Islam. You cannot lie. Like, sure, I mean, like when it goes to like spying, like sure, the Prophet had spies.
No, spying is fine for the state if the Amir allows it. That's a different story.
Yeah, sure. But like the comparison doesn't make any sense. Also, like the whole point of Islam is Tawheed, it's monotheism. It's not like to sleep with like what about red pill nonsense he's trying to think it is.
I don't know. He compares jihadis with James Bond. I kind of find it weird because jihadis they don't go around spying on
fight
people.
for God. Like James Bond is not fighting for God.
Exactly. Exactly. I don't know. It's really dumb. It's a really dumb comparison. I don't get the metaphor. Okay, it doesn't make any
Yeah.
sense to me as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, let's continue.
Jocko
This guy's like,
and care about and know that you're going to go to paradise, right? Like
you said spiritual James Bond, but it's kind of cool because like you get to go out and fight and kill a bunch of people, and then there's like a bunch of virgins, eternal virgins, waiting for you in
Yeah.
paradise.
See this
You're gonna
lie
go there and
again.
you're gonna deflower all
Yeah,
this.
he's lying to his
lying.
This hadith is munkar. It's false. It's
Yeah.
false, man. It's a false hadith.
Yeah, this is scoundrel like this has been debunked so many times. He clearly knows this is false, and he's lying to the street.
I think I posted about this on my channel. Right? Sorry, it's not a false hadith. It's a weak hadith. Yeah, it's a weak.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
daif.
Yeah.
It's daif. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if
I
it's
mean,
a
like,
daif hadith,
nothing-
then I'm sorry, we Muslims don't follow. We don't need to follow that hadith, right?
there's
So why are you
nothing
why
that
are
says
you
that you're gonna
repeating
give
this?
virgins? Yeah.
Exactly. Why are you repeating this lie over and over again, David? Don't you have anything better to do? And speaking of virgins, we actually have 8th century, or was it a 3rd century or 4th century Christian by the name of Saint Ephraim talking about virgins in paradise for Christianity. I'll show it to you. Hang on.
Yeah.
Give me a moment. Give me a moment. I will show it
Sure,
to you.
sure.
I don't think many people know of this. Okay, not many people know of this. Virgins in paradise for Christianity. Okay.
I didn't know
Yes,
that.
no joke. Yeah,
in the
yeah, you didn't know that, right? You didn't know that, right? Yeah. So okay, hang on.
Is it in the Bible?
Give me a moment. No, it's written by. It's a poetry written by a church father by the name of Ephraim, Saint Ephraim. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Is he like a early church father?
Yes, he's an early church father.
Oh, okay.
Hang on. Let me.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
Now you will. Now you will.
So
Now
they
you
have like
will, okay.
virgins in Christianity.
Yep,
And yet
they
they're
have
claiming,
virgins
like,
they have virgins in paradise for Christianity. Okay, no joke. Okay, can you share my screen?
Sure.
Ta-da! There you go. Times on
Can
paradise.
you make it bigger?
Oh, I'm going to be very big. How big do you want it to be?
Oh, okay.
Okay, there you go. Okay.
Following.
Virgin-
Where is it? Oh, this is the poem.
Yep, this is the poem. Okay.
Okay.
So read this. Okay. So this is talking about the sun. Okay. Christ. Okay. And then there, so that you may attain paradise. Okay. And you support blah blah blah, and then it will provide you fruits that purify those who partake of them in your thirst. And then there you go. Rice riches are poured in profusion. Okay. Both men and women are clothed in raiment of light. Okay. The fountains of lust are stopped up. Okay. Their virginity dances because the serpent. There you go. There you go. See? There you go. All right. There you go. It's coming in. Okay. There you go. Yes. Okay. They're like kindred of spotless angels. Okay. You can see here. There is enjoyment in paradise for Christianity. Okay. Who says they aren't? Okay. And then all these lovely things. Yeah, there you are. Body in the paradise, the cripple will never walk, leap around the deformed, fly about through the air. The eyes of the blind and deaf, who had yearned from the womb, hungering for the light which they have failed to see, now rejoice to do. So basically, he's saying that those who were crippled before on earth can now walk. Those who were deformed before, who cannot even crawl, can fly. Those who were blind and deaf, who could not hear and see before, they could see and hear in paradise. Okay. There you go. There you go. The virgin who rejected the marriage. There you go. You
Crown
see?
that fades now has the
Yep.
radiant marriage chamber. Oh.
Yes. Yes. Oh, indeed. Okay. Look
So
at
the
this. Yeah.
virgins are getting married there.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh wait, what does that mean? Like, so basically the virgins they rejected the marriage
I think
offer, so now
let's
they're being
see.
forcefully married.
Let's see the explanation in the companion article. Hang on. Let me see if I can load. Yeah, there you are. Virgins of Paradise in Christianity. Okay. So yeah, this is the one. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. Wait. Yeah, the Hymns of Paradise. Okay. There you are. Strophe 18. Okay. Whoever has abstained from wine on earth, for him to do the vines of paradise yearn. Each one of them holds out to them a branch of grapes. And if a man had lived in chastity, they here feminine, the women, receive him in a pure bosom, because he as a monk did not fall into the bosom. You know what bosom is, right? And bed of earthly love. Okay, right? I mean, come on.
Okay, so the
Okay, there
monks,
you are.
the monks
There.
are gonna get laid, basically.
Exactly. All right. And here you go, a solitary virgin. Okay. The virgin who created the marriage
Virgin,
now
yeah.
has the radiant marriage chamber. So she's going to have a lot of M. Okay. A
Okay.
virgin will be rewarded with M. Okay. So again,
Alright.
see, this is a church father, man.
Yeah,
Okay.
those popes are like, and like monks were very kind of like who are very kind of like horny, and like they had like
Yeah.
they were probably
Exactly.
writing about this stuff.
Exactly. And and Christians keep saying that, oh, you Muslims, you want to die, you want to become Muslim, so that in the hereafter you will get laid by 72 virgins. They keep repeating this line over and over again. And yet Saint Ephraim wrote that they too will get laid by a virgin will still get laid by by people in paradise. Okay. So what the hell, man?
Yeah, I mean, like in Islam, of course, like there's nothing in regards to having like sex with virgins or anything like that. So basically, what it has is that those who are martyrs, will be able to have a lot of wives, and yeah, because they
Exactly.
sacrifice their life for something
Yeah,
good,
and that and
and
that
if
and
they
that
want
hadith
to.
itself, yeah, but that hadith itself is also weak. Yeah, it's weak. It's a weak hadith.
I
Yeah,
don't
it's
know if
naive.
it's weak.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
not. I don't think that hadith is weak, or even if it was, it is established that
Yeah.
martyrs basically can marry up to more than kind of like 4 wives.
Yeah, it says wives. It doesn't say virgins. So it does say
So,
wives.
so
So
either way, the
mm,
thing is that that's talking about marriage. Like
yeah,
that's not like
yeah,
having sex with like however times you want with like anyone you want. Like that's
exactly.
not
Not
what
it's not a
it's talking
gangbang
about.
or anything lewd. Okay,
Yeah.
so I don't know. Maybe
However,
the
it seemed like
yeah.
in Christianity, the monks were clearly like dreaming of like having virgins in their bedchambers. So
Exactly.
it's
You
not the
can see
same.
that in the poetry of Saint Ephraim the Syrian. Okay, it's there.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Mm.
But anyway, let's continue.
Yeah.
These virgins, and then Allah is going to restore their virginity after you take their
Nope.
virginity, so you can just keep deflowering
False, fabricated
virgins for all
news.
eternity.
Weak.
That's what James Bond
This
does.
guy is just a liar,
Fake
man.
James Bond.
news.
Yeah, we
And
know
like
he's
James
lying,
Bond, in
right?
that you could slap your women. Like Sean Connery. You just have to give them a little slap. Especially if they won't shut up and they're like, yeah, yeah,
Sean
yeah,
Connery
yeah.
didn't even talk like that. Not funny,
Also,
man.
what is he talking about? Like,
I know he
there's
was
no
trying to
like,
make a joke, but the joke doesn't quite cut it, because Sean Connery. I mean, Sean Connery was well, did not have that kind of accent. You see, yeah,
yeah.
very dumb. Yeah.
What's wrong with these guys?
Get all the tools. Like it's the first person shooter that literally get all the good guns. Like it's not this boring. I'm pretending.
Also, like in the Bible, like you have like in the Bible it says that your wives should cover their hair. Your wives can't go out if they're like bleeding or whatever.
That is in the New Testament. Yeah, that's in the New Testament.
Yeah.
Paul wrote those.
They, can,
Yeah.
they cannot sit down. You have to stay away from
Yeah,
them.
they have to
because
keep
of,
quiet. They cannot make
bleeding
any
or-
noise in the churches. They have to you have to sit down. They have to sit quietly and meekly. Okay,
Yeah.
and they cannot, and they must not uncover their hair, because it is better for them to be for their hair to be shorn than to let it be
Mhm.
uncovered. So
Yeah. Also, like
yeah.
in another one of the passages, it says that if your daughter is like go out there whoring, then she should be burned to the stake or something like that.
Oh, I don't recall such a verse, but I need to check it out. Yeah, maybe there may be. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So like,
maybe there is.
of course, like in Islam, like what he's talking about, it's not beating like where like you like physically like causing like some kind of damage. It's
Yeah.
simply like like hitting with a handkerchief. But that's not.
You
that
mean
can be
you're talking
categorized
about
as-
Surah An-Nisa verse 4,
Yeah,
right? With this, right?
Yeah.
Hitting with this.
yeah.
A miswak. Okay, a miswak. Okay. Yeah, I triggered the other guy as well, below the guy with the green shirt. He was talking about this. He was talking about, oh, you Quran, your Quran teaches men to beat their wife. So I said, "Are you afraid of this miswak?" And he had no answer to it. Yeah, he had no answer to it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like
Yeah.
it's basically also like even then, like the Prophet ﷺ never hit any of his wives. So the best
Yeah.
example,
I mean,
our best
all
example,
the authentic
is that
hadiths,
you don't
yeah,
like
all
hurt your wife.
yeah, exactly. And all
Of
the
course,
authentic
like
hadiths
if
say,
she's doing something really wrong, that's a
yeah,
different situation. Then even then, like you hit them like with like a handkerchief or like that like
miswak.
miswak
No,
or whatever.
miswak.
I mean,
No,
but as long as
the sunnah,
even then
yeah,
it's to be done in a way where like it's not causing any kind of like physical injury or like
yeah,
damage.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
simply to warn.
exactly.
And
Yeah,
if
exactly.
that doesn't work, the alternative is divorce, which is a lot worse. In many cases, it's
Exactly.
not any kind of
Exactly.
abuse. It's simply to warn them, hey,
Yeah,
look, I don't like this.
yeah.
Don't do this.
A pussy
You
is
know.
afraid of this little stick here. Okay, he's afraid of this.
But in
He's-
Christianity, I don't think you can even get a divorce. So
no,
even
you cannot.
if the husband like beats them, it has to stay.
Yeah,
They have to stay with their like with their husband.
yeah.
So
They're not allowed to they're not allowed to divorce because Jesus said that to because Jesus's law says that a husband may not divorce their wives unless if the wife is proven to be an adulteress.
yeah. I think I read that somewhere. I'm not.
Yeah,
Again, like guys,
yeah,
if you look it
it's in
up,
the
these
gospel.
are the passages, real passages that we've read.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
cannot exactly
yeah.
remember the number of it, but
Yeah,
it does
I
say
can't
that, like
recall the number as well at the moment. Yeah, but it's in the
it
gospels. Yeah,
does say that anyone who basically who marries like a divorced woman is basically
yeah.
committing adultery or something like that.
Adultery. Yeah, yeah, yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
So
Exactly.
clearly, you cannot get a divorce. Even if you do, that's not seen as a good thing.
And
It's
in
very
fact,
problematic.
the Roman Catholics the Roman Catholic Church did interpret it that way to the point that King Henry VIII, because he wanted to marry Anne Boleyn. You need to read the history of England. The King of England at the time, Henry the VIII, he wanted to divorce his wife, his first wife, Catherine of Aragon, Catherine of Spain, and he wanted to marry Anne Boleyn. So he asked for permission from the Pope to divorce his first wife, but the Pope did not grant him that permission because he said that Catherine did not do him any wrong. So what he did was he created his own church. He created his own church, and today is known as the Anglican Church. So in this Anglican Church, King Henry VIII, he became basically he became the head of the Church of England. Okay, so he's like the Pope. So he came up with his own laws saying that he can divorce Catherine. And then he did divorce Catherine. He married Anne Boleyn, and then Anne Boleyn gave him a daughter. And then later on, he got her beheaded, and then he went on to marry more wives. Okay, long story behind King Henry VIII. Okay, but
Yeah,
basically,
interesting.
the reason why the Church of England or the Anglican Church exists today was because of the refusal by the Pope in Rome to grant the permission for the King Henry to divorce his wife. So very interesting history there. So that is why a new church was born, the Church of England. Yeah, just look it up. It's in there.
Yeah, interesting.
It's in
Also, like
history.
also
Yeah.
in another one of the Old Testament passages, it clearly says that if some guy is like trying to beat your husband or something along that line, and if your
Yeah.
wife tries to defend you and grabs like
His
accidentally
dick, his
his crotch,
Okay,
am,
yeah.
then
I
you have
know.
to chop
Yeah,
off her hand. You have to chop
Yes,
off her hand.
yes.
So
Yes.
David,
Yeah, I know
like,
that verse.
so he has an issue with like someone being hit with like a handkerchief in a way that doesn't cause any
Miswak.
injury whatsoever, but he's fine with
Miswak.
like chopping people's hands off, chopping women's
Miswak.
head off, chopping your wife's hands off because she's trying to defend you. Like, how does
I
that
should
make
take
sense?
this miswak and I should take this miswak and hit those two idiots on the head with it. Pop, pop. Is that, yeah.
Anyway, so let's continue. I mean, I don't think we still got to the point where he actually
Oh my
explodes.
God! Still,
And
it's
then to
still,
just
it's
I'll
still
turn the other
long
cheek,
way off.
Huh?
Can we speed it up? Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're there. I think this is the point.
Okay.
where it happens.
Okay. All
their
right,
virginity,
all
so
right.
you could just keep deflowering virgins for all eternity.
Blah blah blah.
That's what James Bond
Okay,
does.
blah, blah,
News.
blah,
Exactly
blah,
like
blah.
James Bond.
Blah 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 blah.
And like James Bond, in that you could slap your women. Yeah,
Yeah.
actually, you just slap them. What's wrong with these guys?
Get all the tools. Like it's the first person shooter that literally get all the good guns. Like it's not this boring. I'm pretending to just I'll turn the other cheek. Hit. Thank you, sir. Can I have another? And where the
Did you see what's that? Hit you on the cheek and thank you, sir. Another one. So basically, Sam Harris is mocking Christianity. Basically, it's when Jesus says that he gets slapped. If he gets slapped, he should give the other cheek. But that's basically abuse, right?
Yeah, it is. It is abuse. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
And David is like laughing.
It's a high T religion, right? And that's why a schmuck like Andrew Tate thinks he's had a real insight in embracing it.
People are seeing it as a redress to women of the West.
Did he call Andrew Tate a schmuck?
I think he just said that.
He said schmuck. I have to go back to it. I just put on Twitter, Andrew Tate is a schmuck. Sam Harris.
I was just going to point it out.
Have been conned by feminism into believing that these things are good.
It's had a real insight in embracing it.
People are seeing it as a redress to women of the West who have been conned by feminism into believing that these things are good for them. They're not good for them. We need, no one's happy. Look at the divorce rates. Look at the 60% of US teenage girls aged 12 to 16 have regular or persistent feelings of hopelessness.
Yeah.
Everyone's OnlyFans pathologically fapping themselves into.
Yeah, this is something that we've talked about before, but everyone who comes along right now is doing a great job at diagnosing problems in society. But the solutions they offer are insane.
Okay,
look at this problem, look at that problem, look at this problem, look at that problem, look at this, look at us, look at everyone's depressed and so on. What's the solution? Islam. Wait, what?
I have to point.
Yeah, so it's basically like, bro, there.
Yeah, I'm still here.
This Love Island guy is basically talking about why people are converting to Islam. And basically they're saying, they've been like brainwashed by feminism. So a lot of like women kind of like move to kind of like more like red pill stuff. And a lot of men kind of like move to this Islam. And basically David's response is like, the people are really good at diagnosing problems, but their solution is Islam. Like, what is the solution in liberal Christianity? Like, what's your solution exactly? Your solution is making more gay church? Your solution is like
his solution is to make more videos. No, his solution is basically to do a cross-dressing video. He wants to wear a bikini or something. Yeah, that's
whining about Islam, like that's these things are gonna like solve your problems.
Yes,
like clearly Christians. The reason why many Christians are like converted to Islam is because they're seeing a clear problem with Christianity itself.
Exactly.
But Christianity,
and as I mentioned before,
has become so liberalized.
As I mentioned before in the earlier part of this video, nothing that you see on David's channel talks about Christianity. Okay, and nothing whatsoever talks about the virtues of Christianity. Why Muslims should embrace Christianity? What are the reasons that Christianity is more rational than Islam? Nothing. Zero. Nada. Okay. He doesn't bring any evidence.
So basically, what David was like is talking about. So his solution is like what? He doesn't have a solution.
No solution. He doesn't have a solution. He doesn't even promote Christianity, man.
Like Muslims insult Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu and that's gonna solve the problem.
The best thing you can do is to make
many Christians are converting to Islam is because like they see a clear problem with liberal Christianity, and they don't like it. They don't agree with it. So a lot of them are moving to Islam because Islam clearly has a very clear stance that even if like there are liberal Muslims, no one takes those liberal Muslims seriously. Like majority of the Muslim world don't take liberal Islam seriously. When it comes to Christianity, that is the main branch of Christianity. Most Christians are liberal.
It is today.
Liberal Christian. Even with like if you look at the left and the right, both of them have the exact same liberal ideology. Like there's no difference. They both think that we should allow like LGBTQ people and accept them as Christians. It's just that we're not going to execute. Alphabet Club. We're just not going to execute them, or we're going to be tolerant, but how much tolerant we are, that's where the debate is. The debate isn't, we shouldn't allow this in society, we should get rid of them. That's not the answer. The answer is that, how much should we allow them? How much of their like ideology should we promote? That's where the debate is. But clearly, like that's not what Christianity has been. That's not what Islam has been. This is clearly a very degenerate kind of like disgusting ideology that's been promoted in your society. And Islam is a clear solution.
Yes.
And that's why many Christians that are in this atmosphere, they're seeing that and they're embracing Islam,
Yeah, you
and
can
that's a good
see
thing
YouTubers,
because
you can see Christian YouTubers who previously they do reaction videos to Islamic videos. At first they might be hostile to certain ideas that these videos present, but later on, after they have watched many videos, they become convinced and they themselves become Muslims. Okay, there's so many
Hmm.
YouTubers like this that I've seen on YouTube who at first they were hostile to Islam, but then they just decided to do some reaction videos. But in the end, after a year or two, suddenly they said, "Okay, I want to become a Muslim," and then they embrace Islam. Okay, like for example,
Yeah.
Bobby. We have Bobby. We
Hmm.
have Joseph from Open Minded Thinker. We have
Hmm.
this guy called there's this guy called Mr. Watwa. Mr. Watwa is
Hmm.
because previously Mr. Watwa he just did some reaction videos to Islamic content for fun, and then
Hmm.
in the end he became serious about the religion and he became Muslim. Okay, so there's so many examples. I can name so many other YouTubers who went down a similar path. So
Yeah.
Islam clearly has an appeal. Islam clearly has the solution.
Hmm.
So yeah,
Yeah, exactly. I think I'm gonna end it there. So
okay.
you can clearly see that, like, when it comes to like responding to Sam Harris, David got triggered a bunch of times. At first he's like
Yeah,
mocking Sam
exactly.
when he's talking about Christianity. Even when he's not saying anything like
Yep,
insulting towards
yep,
Christianity, he still gets
exactly.
triggered. He's saying these
Yep,
like, oh, like these atheists, they have
yep.
filthy mouth, and Apos is they're grinning when he's like mocking atheists. Like, I don't know what kind of atheist he is. Like, I
He's
genuinely
not an
don't understand.
atheist. He's a Christian pretending to be an atheist. I always say this. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, he got anyway. So David Wood got definitely got triggered there. So he's like
Yeah.
mocking like Sam Harris. He's saying things like, oh, he's saying that Christians are pussies and that's not this and that. When he didn't say that. you know? But anyway, so and he got
I
triggered
did. I did,
over.
and I got a lot of flack for it. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I just thought that was funny. So we thought we would react to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this made some usual kind of nonsense arguments that we've already debunked. So yeah, I think we'll end it there.
Yeah. I'm already quite sleepy.
So
Brother.
basically,
Sorry.
this was funny to me because like it seems like both Apos doesn't know what he is, neither does David. It seems like David is more interested in like promoting atheism rather than Christianity,
Exactly.
and it seems like Apos is more interested in promoting Christianity rather than like secular liberalism. So that's, that's a weird
That's a
backward
good way to
ideology they
put
have
it.
there.
That's a good way
Yeah.
to put it. Yeah. Yeah.
Basically, that's the reason why I had to react to and respond to this. And yeah, so yeah, I guess that's about it. Do you
Yeah.
wanna like say anything in the end?
Yeah, nothing
Before we
much
wrap up?
except that yeah, I mean like I said before at the very beginning, and I repeated this constantly throughout this reaction live stream. Who's really the Christian and who's really the atheist here? Okay, because
Yeah.
neither of them seem to be the people whom they claim to be. Okay, and
Yeah.
it's quite yeah, and it seems that they are only united in one reason and only one reason, which is basically to lambast and to attack and to humiliate Islam. You see, but in the end, they just humiliate themselves.
Hmm.
And yeah, I mean they don't really know what they believe in. Okay, basically they don't know
Hmm.
what they believe in. They don't offer any solution. See,
Yeah.
the thing
By the
is
way,
they didn't
Brother
offer any
Brainiac wrote
solution.
a
Yeah.
comment. He said, "The search
Okay.
Elina Ali, live Pakistani ex-pastor. We have secret Christian in Pakistan masquerading as atheists." Interesting. Yeah, we have those in here as well. I made a video a while back where I showed that
You did.
the Christian. Yeah, it was the
Okay.
collaboration video that we made. It was the first one where I
Okay.
showed that this
Okay.
Christian pretending to be Muslim and getting caught red-handedly. And David
Okay.
was saying like, oh, like all Muslim
Okay.
apologists are like liars, when in reality, their people are the ones who are going out there lying, pretending to be Muslim, pretending to be atheists. Yeah. But anyway, so
Yeah, Christians are just
yeah,
liars. They're taught to lie like Paul.
as you were
Yeah.
saying, it's clear like that Apos doesn't have a clear allegiance. I mean, like he's okay with like his body mocking Sam Harris.
He's a
At the same
he's a
time,
Christian. Okay, he's a Christian.
yeah. At the same time, like David is also okay with like
Yeah,
people
and David is an
mocking
atheist. Okay.
Christianity. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
mocking Christianity, and like I think he also like embraced kind of like Hatun trash.
yeah. She did.
Hatun
She did.
trash,
He
by the
did.
way, in
He
case
did.
you guys don't
Yeah,
know,
Atun trash. Yeah,
openly mocked Jesus, or where
yeah,
she had like a Charlie Hebdo magazine where
yeah,
that was like mocking Jesus. She brought
yeah,
that and showed to everybody, and
yeah,
David is okay with that. Like he doesn't have a problem with that.
yeah.
So these are the
They
kind
don't.
of
These
people we're
people,
dealing with.
they have no. They have no shame. They have no shame, and they don't know the difference between something which is sacred, which is holy, and blasphemy. They don't understand the concept of blasphemy. See, for them, Jesus dying on the cross is something noble and holy. But then and then they think that desecrating other people's religious texts is is something, is free speech, freedom of
Mhm.
expression. What if someone were to do that to their own Bible? Okay, well,
Yeah,
how we'll see.
that,
We need
that's
to
the,
see how
that's
they
that's
react.
the reason why
Yeah,
I actually wanted to react to this, because I find it
yeah,
funny, because like he's the one who's okay with people mocking
yeah,
Jesus, but then
yeah.
he gets triggered when people do mock Jesus. So which one is it? Like if you get triggered, then why are you allowing it? If you're going
Yeah,
to allow it, then why are you getting triggered? Like it's like
exactly.
me saying to a child that, hey, you can eat as much candy as you want. Then when you get
Yeah,
sick by eating so much candy, I say, why did you get sick? Like like make up your mind. You can't
yeah,
say
exactly,
that allow
exactly.
something that's clearly harmful for your belief and
Yeah,
then complain and say that, oh, this guy's harming my belief. Like that's a contradiction.
yeah,
Like make up
yes,
your
it
mind.
is. It is. Yeah,
So I find it funny
definitely.
that when he got triggered when Sam Harris was like criticizing Christianity. But anyway. So yeah, I
Yeah,
guess
I
I guess
agree.
that's about it. We're gonna end
Yep.
the stream.
Yeah.
Thank you
Quite a long
so
night
much
for
for
me.
joining,
Yeah. Yes. Thank you,
brother
Archie. Thank
Amian
you for
as
having me
well,
here.
for
Yeah.
taking the time off. We haven't done a stream in a while, so this was fun.
Yes.
Hopefully, we can do more
Yes,
in
it
the
was.
future. Actually, I have
Inshallah.
another video coming up tomorrow, inshallah. Definitely check it out. It's
Okay.
about Apos and some of the him defending kind of like Quran burner, the guy that burned the Quran. I mean, a response to that. Inshallah, the video will come out tomorrow. Definitely check that out, and also check out brother MENJ's channel.
Thank
He's a,
you.
although
Thank
he's
you.
not posting any content. By the way, why are you not posting any content on the channel, man?
I've been busy with work and I have other commitments at the moment, but don't worry about it. I think by next month, inshallah, I'll start posting some new videos again, inshallah.
Yeah. You should. You know what you should do. What you should do is like make like a more long video response. Then split it up in different parts. Then when you have the time,
Yeah,
release them
I'm actually
in a few days
yeah,
window.
I'm actually
Yeah.
planning to do this video where I expose David Wood's attempts to make more money from his son's death. So I'm going to, that will be a very interesting topic. Okay.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah. No one else has
I
done
look
it though.
forward to that.
No one else has done it. So I'm going to do that. Yeah.
Cheers. And so yeah, look for that. And thank you guys so much for joining. By the way, if you guys like the stream and like the channel, definitely like, share, subscribe. And if you want to support the channel, then consider becoming a Patreon or become a YouTube member. I have exclusive content like for YouTube members and Patreon. I also have some early content that are exclusive for now for YouTube members. You can see early. And so yeah, and that's about it. If you guys like the video, like, share, subscribe. And I also thank to brother Amy and Jay for joining me. And inshallah, I'll see you guys next time, inshallah. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.